Welcome to fourth grade history. We are into our review lessons, okay guys? So this one is for Friday, it's for Friday, lesson 165, and this will also be for Monday, lesson 166. So if you are on Friday, you have quiz 34 to take, okay? Before I let you go to take that quiz, we are gonna go over the states and capitals on the map. And so hopefully to help you with that. And then if you're on Monday, then you're gonna be doing quiz 35. So quiz 34 if you're on Friday, quiz 35 if you're on Monday. We are going to be going over and reviewing chapters 16 and 18, okay? And then we'll get 17 in there and the next lesson and some of the others. So we want to make sure that you guys are fully prepared for this, for the test. And so we're going to start with the states and capitals on the map. We're going to start up at Maine. So this is how it's I'm going to go through the little ones and then New York, Pennsylvania, some more little ones, West Virginia. We're going to go all the way down to Florida, and then we're going to jump back up to Michigan. I kind of went backwards the last time, and it just kind of threw it off. So we're trying to keep doing like columns, sort of. So, all right, so just follow me. We'll start with Augusta, Maine. Augusta, Maine, Concord, New Hampshire, Montpelier, Vermont, Boston, Massachusetts, Providence, Rhode Island, Hartford, Connecticut, Albany, New York, Trenton, New Jersey, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Dover, Delaware, Annapolis, Maryland, Charleston, West Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Tallahassee, Florida, Lansing, Michigan, Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis, Indiana, Frankfort, Kentucky, Nashville, Tennessee, Montgomery, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi, Madison, Wisconsin, Springfield, Illinois, St. Paul, Minnesota, Des Moines, Iowa, Jefferson City, Missouri, Little Rock, Arkansas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Bismarck, North Dakota, Pierre, South Dakota, Lincoln, Nebraska, Topeka, Kansas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Austin, Texas, Helena, Montana, Cheyenne, Wyoming, Denver, Colorado, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Boise, Idaho, Salt Lake City, Utah, Phoenix, Arizona, Olympia, Washington, Salem, Oregon, Carson City, Nevada, Sacramento, California, Juneau, Alaska, Honolulu, Hawaii. Very good. All right. So hopefully we'll keep that same pattern through all of the review lessons. I'll just remember that so it'll be easier for you guys. All right. Looking at, I'm going to start with some questions from chapter 18. It's the most recent for you. And then we will look at chapter 16 and get some review for that. All right. But except for, go ahead and take your quiz if you're taking 34. If it's Friday, take quiz 34. If it's Monday, take quiz 35. And when you come back, we will look at our review. All right, I hope you did well with that quiz. First question, what Supreme Court case ended segregation in American public schools? What was that name? Brown versus the Board of Education. That one should be kind of easy to remember. You can just put that together. Number 2, what did the Civil Rights Act of 1964 promise? That all races would be able to live, vote, and work wherever they chose. Okay, good job. Who was the first Black Supreme Court Justice? Thurgood Marshall. Very good. Which president began the interstate highway system? President Eisenhower. And fun fact about that, there is the Eisenhower Tunnel is in Colorado, and it's a very long tunnel. And I forget which one. I think it's in the top, at least in the top 20 of the longest tunnels in America, I believe. It might not be, yeah. So, but growing up, we went through that tunnel a lot because it was between places that we were going. And so, but they call it the Eisenhower Tunnel, and it was named after President Eisenhower because he started the interstate highway system. Okay, so that's one way, that's one thing to remember. Number 5, who was the first man to walk on the moon? Neil Armstrong, very good. What country sought to spread communism around the world? The Soviet Union, all right? Why were Americans so concerned when the Soviet Union placed missiles in Cuba? Only 90 miles from Florida. We're gonna get Florida attacked, right? Okay. Who became president after President Kennedy was assassinated? The Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson, okay? Why did President Johnson send American troops to South Vietnam? To protect South Vietnam from North Vietnamese communists, okay? How did the Vietnam War end? How did the Vietnam War end? President Nixon withdrew American troops from South Vietnam. That's how it ended. Who was the first US president to resign from office? Richard Nixon, okay? Which president is remembered as the great communicator? Who's remembered as the great communicator? Ronald Reagan. What is the Reagan Doctrine? The Reagan Doctrine? It's the belief that the United States should stop communism before it attacked and enslaved a country. Why are Supreme Court justices so influential? Well, they make very important decisions that bring consequences for years to come, and they serve for life. So putting the wrong person up in that position can cause lots of trouble for lots of years, okay? Which war is the shortest war the United States has ever fought? Operation Desert Storm. And what is terrorism? Simply, it's violence intended to terrify people. Violence intended to terrify people. Which buildings were attacked by terrorists on September 11th, 2001? What were the buildings? The World Trade Center, which is the Twin Towers, and the Pentagon, okay? So those two, the World Trade Center, which were two towers there, and the Pentagon, okay? Very good. And then which military operation removed Saddam Hussein from power? Operation Iraqi Freedom. Operation Iraqi Freedom, okay? All right, now we're looking at chapter 16. So think back. What was Alaska called before the United States purchased it from Russia? Russian America, very good. Who arranged for the purchase of Alaska by the United States? Secretary of State William H. Seward. How much did the United States pay for Alaska? $7.2 million, or $7,200,000. What did those who thought Alaska was a frozen wasteland call the new territory? Seward's Folly, or Seward's Icebox is what they called it. What happened in 1896 that convinced everyone that Alaska was a valuable territory? They discovered gold. How does a territory differ from a state? People in a territory can't vote or choose their own governor. Why did it take so many years for Alaska to become a state? Why did it take so many years for Alaska to become a state? We didn't have any roads connecting Alaska to the United States, so nobody wanted to move up there, and it took a long time for communication. How far is it from California to Hawaii? You guys remember? 2,000 miles, all right? Who discovered Hawaii? Captain James Cook. And in what year did both Alaska and Hawaii become states? 1959. Very good. What island near Florida was fighting to gain its independence from Spain? Cuba, all right? What happened in 1898 which made Americans angry and which led to the Spanish-American War? The U.S. battleship, the Maine, was sunk. Who destroyed the Spanish fleet in the Pacific? Admiral George Dewey. And where did his great victory take place? There's a group of islands, the Philippine Islands. Who were the Rough Riders? It's a group of soldiers led by Theodore Roosevelt in the Spanish-American War. What important battle did they fight in? The Battle of San Juan Hill. Battle of San Juan Hill. Who won the Spanish-American War? The United States. And how long did this war last? 3 months. Which territories did the United States receive as a result of the Spanish-American War? What were the territories we got? The Philippines, Guam, and Puerto Rico. Okay. What is a canal? A canal is a man-made waterway. Very good. What country was the first to try to build a canal across the Isthmus of Panama? France. France tried that first. When did the Panama Canal open? 1914. Okay, if you remember the year that the First World War started, 1914 is when the Panama Canal opened, and the World War I started in 1914. In 1978, what did the United States agree to do with the Panama Canal? 1978, what did we agree to do with the Panama Canal? To give the ownership back of the canal to Panama by the year 2000. How did William Gorgas help the men who built the Panama Canal? He destroyed the mosquitoes which carry malaria and yellow fever. All right. So that's the questions from chapter 16 checkup and the chapter 18 checkup. We went over the U.S. States and capitals. So if this is Friday, just go ahead, make sure that you're reviewing these chapters every night. If it's Monday, make sure you review this again. And if it's Friday, make sure you study for quiz 35. Okay, so that'll be Monday. And if it is Monday, then you are well on your way to getting things finished up for the year. So let's push towards the end. Tomorrow we'll be reviewing chapter 17. We'll go over some things in chapter 18 again, and then you'll be reviewing. Then you will take the test. So we'll get you guys all ready for that test. So if you need to go back on these videos and listen again and prepare more for that, but we'll be also. Tomorrow we'll also be looking at, so that'll be, that video will be for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday will be the test. I'm sorry, just so I'm clear on that. Thursday is the history test. And you'll also do the map skill sheet 24. That'll be the last one to do. You'll do that one tomorrow with your lesson. So we'll see you in the next lesson, and have a good evening.